did this happen? How the f did this happen? Was this a bug?
In 47 Ronin, Keanu Reeves lives as a bullied outcast among samurai and supernatural creatures in feudal Japan. However, when the lord of the region is wrongly sentenced to death thanks to his a-hole rival, Keanu must join forces with the now masterless samurai on one last mission: kill the rival lord before he marries the region's princess, who of course is in love with Keanu. And interestingly so, 47 Ronin is very similar to Seventh Son that released around the same time, which I covered earlier this year. I mean, it's basically the same, only Eastern. We're in a fantastical world of the past, but it's Japan. We have a hero with supernatural abilities, but he's a samurai instead of a mage. We have an evil dragon, but it's a dragon of the East. We have a super pale villainous witch in love with the wrong man, but in Japan. A hollow armored enemy, but a samurai. A number in the title, but as numbers. We even come across random harmless forest ghosts, but a bit different.
Just a ghast, level 6 creature.
Spirits of the old and infirm who are left here to die.
That being said though, by all logic, 47 Ronin should produce way better results than Seventh Son, simply because the parts it's made up of are worth way more. There are multiple core ingredients for success here, including many exciting scenes and events like fighting fantastical beasts with swords, Keanu Reeves leading the film as a supernatural samurai, and overall, a big bunch of fascinating fantastical Eastern elements that should produce success. Yet, this movie didn't find any success, only failure. It became an even bigger flop than Seventh Son, meaning that it was disliked by the masses and lost a crazy amount of money. And the age-old Filmento question this brings up is, why? With all these ingredients for success, why is the result failure? Well, I'd argue it's because all those ingredients are wasted. The amazing events don't carry any real worth. Keanu Reeves may as well not be Keanu Reeves, and even the special elements of the world cancel each other out. So today, let's ride into this world of feudal Japan to see why. Not only to learn to avoid the same fate in our own work, but also because a mysterious benefactor wanted me to cover this movie in exchange for Christmas gifts. Christmas gifts I need because this year I wanna be a good guy like Keanu and get gifts for all the people I know instead of just my mom.
12 Hugo Weaving doubles that played Agent Smith was so gracious of the sequence and how he put it in. He managed to secure 12 custom Harley Davidsons for each of the guys.
Anyway, enough backstory. Here's how 47 Ronin wasted its potential and how not to do the same. Firstly, the reason many of the awesome events and scenes here don't work is because they lack real-time motivational context, without which they become loud noise. For example, after mandatory beginning studio voiceover exposition, the movie opens with Keanu helping the samurai to hunt a beast in the local forest. A beast that turns out to be a bit more than your usual neighborhood lion. And then of course, cool excitement happens. The samurai attack the beast, so it goes crazy and wrecks everything in its path. The samurai get their asses whooped, so Keanu has to take matters into his own hands. And when one samurai is about to be killed by the beast, Keanu runs in to save him. But all that excitement aside, the issue with the sequence is that we don't have context for why it's happening. Why are the samurai hunting this beast? It kinda just happens. Afterwards, the Lord says that now that the beast is dead, the Shogun's party can arrive safely, sure.
We can finally welcome the Shogun without fear.
But what the audience needs during the sequence itself is motivational context so that they can understand and appreciate the value of it. For instance, if you began the movie by showing dead cattle killed by the beast, that would give meaning to the scene of hunting the beast. Or if you began by showing dead and injured civilians who were attacked by the beast on the forest trail, same thing. The value of hunting the beast would be clear. But if that context is not there, it's mostly noise. It's like the difference between hunting for food and safety and hunting for sport. The latter doesn't really compare. As another example, after the shogun has arrived along with the lord of another region, there's this festivity of entertainment, including a battle between the champions of the two regions.
Damn, this is big.
And because the villain lord for some reason bewitches this region's champion, Keanu has to secretly take his place. He has to go up against this evil champion that appears to have been brought in from yet another number movie. And what follows is a cool samurai battle. But again, what's missing is the motivational context, why characters do what they do, what the scene's value is. What's the purpose of the fight? Is it just for entertainment and pride, or will it actually decide something? I don't know. What are the rules of the fight? Is it to the death, or just until someone starts crying? I don't know. And why is the villain cheating? Doesn't he trust his own champion? Is he gonna achieve something by making the local lord look bad? I don't know.
Just hanging around.
As I said last time, questions and mysteries can be useful, but you still need to offer enough context for the events and character actions for them to matter. When someone leaked Oppenheimer's file to destroy his reputation, I understood enough to feel involved. Whereas here, while I do understand that Keanu steps in to protect his lord's honor,
If we have no fighter, Akka will be disgraced.
I just don't have enough insight to value the fight itself, as cool as it may be. And the same problem bothers the movie from beginning to end. The villain's goal is to get rid of the local lord to steal his land without any context as to why. After he gets the land, he does nothing with it and just goes back to his own land. So, The masterless samurai decide to avenge their lord a year after his death because now the princess will have to marry the evil lord. But why? I mean, I understand that Keanu has to stop the wedding because he loves the princess, but why is the wedding such a big deal for these guys?
Soon Kira will marry Mika. We must stop him.
Why not just wait for a calmer moment and strike the villain down when he least expects it? And why is the villain so eager to marry the princess anyway if he already has control of the land, if they don't even have any proper scenes together? I mean, the audience is able to make deductions on their own, and all of this does make sense, yes. But my point is that events and actions will always pack more punch with enough real-time motivational context. Like, oh, the reason the villain needs to marry the princess is because that will finally give him control of her region. Oh, the reason the samurai need to stop the marriage is because the villain plans to use his new control to steal their region's resources for something. Oh, this battle is important because the shogun is already thinking about uniting the regions under one strong ruler, and so the local lord has to seem strong by winning. For the audience to have context like that while they see the scenes play out, it makes a huge difference. For example, if I now suddenly pause the video to list out a bunch of Christmas gifts, it wouldn't work, because no matter how amazing the gifts or the editing, you'd just be wondering what's happening, right?
What he's doing?
However, because earlier I told you that this year I want to be like Keanu and somehow afford to get Christmas gifts for all the people I know, now you have the context, now it works, now you're invested to find out whether I pull off my objective. Like I said, for my mom, I'm getting something expensive, but I'd like to find a more affordable way to remember other people as well. Well, let's see. Let me pull up this magical store app and see what I can find. Okay, for my two young cousins, I got these canvas movie posters for $7 a piece. For my younger cousin, I got this Baby Groot figure for $14. I got this funny iPhone cover for a friend for $2. A Homer hat for the neighbor kid for $6. A smart belt for my uncle for $5. And a bunch of more cool stuff as well, all within my budget. And there you go, I did it. I'm him now. I am Keanu Reeves.
And that's a lot. It's just the effort. Goes a long way.
All thanks to Temu, an online store where you can find everything like on Amazon, but for better prices, if you're okay with searching for the right items, because not everything will be worth it. But to help you with that, Temu offers a customer review system as well as free shipping and returns. So, to find affordable Christmas gifts or just things for yourself, download the Temu app with the link below for free to get a $100 coupon bundle, or just search my code in the Temu search bar to claim it. Secondly, the reason Keanu Reeves as the hero here doesn't do much good is because he's not allowed to be a proper hero. One thing this means is that he's basically the worst type of protagonist possible, a reserved, passive shell. The single action in the movie he does fully of his own volition is dress up as the champion to try to save the local lord from embarrassment, which is pretty good.
Pretending to be the champion to save your home's honor. Nice touch, Keanu.
Outside of that, however, he doesn't really have objectives of his own. He hunts the beast in the beginning because he's ordered to, and then he just kind of waits for things to go wrong because people don't listen to him. He lives as a cage fighter for a year after the local lord's death until the samurai leader then comes to tell him that, hey, maybe we should go stop the princess's wedding. Oh, okay. I mean, mostly, Keanu's actions are limited to standing quietly in the background and emoting a tiny bit when someone looks his way. I'm not saying you can't make a passive hero like that work, but I am saying that an extrovert doer hero like Tony Stark is way easier to make work.
Then I suggest you are simply bewitched by a beautiful girl.
Okay, I will do nothing.
Keanu is awesome when he's doing stuff, but because most of the time he isn't doing stuff, it doesn't really help that it's Keanu. It could have been anyone.
I'll come with you.
Another issue with the hero is that he fails to earn the audience's respect. Like I said, Keanu is an outcast because he's a foreigner, and these Japanese characters don't seem to like foreigners very much. He has to live in the woods in a sorry shack made of branches. He's constantly being scoffed at when helping because his help is like cancer.
I would rather have been killed by that beast than saved by a half-breed.
He doesn't dare look at his childhood friend, the princess, because she's so far above him. I mean, he's not even seen as a person by these people.
Kill it.
To be clear, putting the hero down unfairly is useful in getting the audience to support them through sympathy, yes. But there's a fine line between sympathy for someone's pain and sheer annoyance at someone's neutered complacency. Like, Keanu, these guys are being openly Formula 1 drivers against you. Stop being content with that. Stop bowing down to them every chance you get. Stop sending your childhood friend away. Stop living under a bunch of branches. Stop being okay with discrimination and being treated like shit. These guys aren't even samurai anymore. They're nothing. How about you finally stand up for yourself?
He's not a samurai.
None of us are samurai.
Look, Keanu is awesome and I like Keanu, but it does get frustrating to see him be so useless. Yeah man, I could never be a real samurai, so I'll just accept my fate and let my head be cut off like a dog. No, that. The shogun guy. Have some self-respect. Either stand up for yourself, which we know you can do, or get out of this piece of place. Just please do something. Stop giving your respect to people who don't deserve it. Stop being so complacent.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the...
I mean, it's mainly just weird to see the movie try to turn this into an inspiring story. For example, some characters like the local lord are implied to be good people who actually care about Keanu, which clearly isn't the case because otherwise they wouldn't make him live under a bunch of f***ing branches. It's not like they're momentarily trying to hide Keanu from the shogun or something. He's right there. They just want him to live in the woods because he's different.
Damn, bitch! You live like this?
And them ultimately learning that maybe that's not so good, that's not inspiring. I don't care when these people die. I don't care if their land burns. Like, I genuinely don't understand why the hero has such a hard-on for these people who have maybe once or twice done the bare minimum for him.
I used to wait in the woods outside a hut and throw stones at you. F you, asshole.
As one more issue with the hero, there's the fact that he doesn't use what makes him special. See, Keanu's backstory is that since he's a foreigner, he was raised by these magical owl people who taught him supernatural fighting abilities. But for reasons we never delve into, Keanu hates the owl people and has vowed to never use his abilities, and thus he only does it twice. He does one speed burst at the midpoint against his old teacher, and he does another speed burst at the end to kill the dragon. That's it. And it's not enough. What's the point of a character having supernatural abilities if he uses them for a total of like 4 seconds? You might as well not have them.
What's so special about these swords? They cut.
Oh my god!
In other words, they're wasted, just like Keanu's hero as a whole. If you're gonna do so little with your hero that most of what they do could have been done by anyone, then what's the use of getting Keanu? Thirdly, the reason the cool supernatural and signature world elements here don't work is because they don't logically survive each other's existence. Take for example the element of magic, the fact that in this world, witches and the supernatural exist. It's pretty weird how the movie suddenly just verbally decides that witches exist without properly introducing them.
It's home to witches and demons.
We did the hunt, I saw a fox, but it was a witch.
A witch?
But fair enough. The real problems begin when certain characters suddenly don't account for the fact that witches and the supernatural exist when the story can't have it. For instance, after the Champion Games, the witch who is in love with the villain lord creates this magical spider that poisons the local lord with hypnosis, which leads him to mistakenly attack the villain lord as was planned. And then he's sentenced to death because harming a guest in feudal Japan is like the worst offense.
The penalty is death.
And the issue with this is that the shogun never once stops to consider the fact that maybe the local lord really was poisoned with magic. Like, oh, you've been a loyal, honorable warrior all your life, and now you suddenly attack your guest in the night. Nothing suspicious there. Oh, the guest you attacked will inherit all your lands as a result of your attack. Nothing suspicious there. You know, the existence of witches and magic just doesn't logically compute with what the characters are doing and how the story uses Japanese culture.
Your mind was poisoned.
If I accept my fate, no one will question the honor of our people.
Oh my god, bro.
As another example, after the villain lord is then positioned to inherit this land, he decides to toss the leader of the now masterless samurai into jail so that he doesn't lead an uprising. I have no idea why he doesn't just kill him, but okay, he removes the leader to make sure that the samurai have nobody to follow. Makes sense. What doesn't make sense, however, is that a year later, just before the villain is to be wed to the princess, he lets the leader go, because maybe he's not a threat anymore. And now it's like, wait a minute, you imprisoned the samurai leader to prevent him from rallying his troops, and now, just before the most important moment, you let him go? Huh? Once again, the story development just doesn't go together with the idea that samurai need a leader to follow. It's as if the filmmakers just wanted a one-year time jump and didn't care how they got it. You know, now that the leader is free and hears about the wedding, the first thing he does is go get Keanu, who also wasn't killed for some reason, and then they rally the samurai to go stop the wedding. Whoops, I had no idea this could happen. And you'll find a lot of that here. Elements of this world just don't go together with what the filmmakers do within the world. If the witch can hypnotize people directly and without leaving any visible mark, then why does she need to create a magical spider that does leave a mark to hypnotize the local lord in the beginning? These two sides don't gel. If the local lord is a good guy who actually cares about Keanu even though he's a foreigner, then why doesn't he let him live somewhere better than a crappy shack in the woods? Isn't the whole point here that the lord of a region controls the region? These two sides don't gel. If the jealous witch has been forbidden to harm the princess by the villain, then how come she leaves a knife for her along with bad news to make her take her own life?
Your half-breed is dead.
If something did happen to the princess, wouldn't the villain immediately think that the witch hypnotized her? How could she ever convince him otherwise?
I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
These two sides don't gel. If the owl people put Keanu and the samurai leader to a test before giving them magic swords, why are they opposite? Keanu will get the sword if he can draw it faster than his teacher, and the leader will get the swords if he doesn't draw his sword at all, even when he sees visions of his men and son being mowed down. It's just a bunch of dumb excuses to have a bunch of dumb cool action. It's all a big bunch of great ideas gone to waste because they weren't used correctly within the borders in which they exist. That's this movie in a nutshell. 47 Ronin, 0 good enough reasons to watch.